and today we're going to review how to become a service bureau. So we'll talk about a few things. First, what is a service bureau? Then the process of becoming a service bureau, and then what the benefits of being a service bureau are. So what is a service bureau? A service bureau is someone who is a reseller of white labeled tax software, like TaxSlayer. So you would be able to get your own name and logo on the same TaxSlayer software, but it just doesn't say TaxSlayer. There is no TaxSlayer logo. You would put your company information and your logo on the software. You would have the ability to sell that software to other EFIN owners and tax preparers. So you could mark up the cost of the software so you could make money off of the software, and then you would be able to train people to be proficient in using the software and then support them if they had any questions. That's pretty much the same as if somebody buys direct with a software company. What sets a service bureau aside and makes them different, you can also be a consultant or a mentor to tax preparers and EFIN owners. So not only can you sell them software, make sure that they're trained and proficient on using the software and they're supported, you can help them in their business. Make sure that they know how to do tax returns correctly, how to own and operate a business. If they don't have an EFIN number, walk them through that process. And you can continue to coach them and mentor them throughout the time that they're with you as a customer. If someone purchases direct with a software company, that's not a service that is provided. So with a service bureau, it can be very beneficial for people to work with them if they are not familiar with how to do taxes correctly, if they've never owned a business, especially a tax business. There's multiple steps in being a business owner and being proficient and successful. You as a service bureau can help them to do that. But regardless if you are just going to sell software or if you also want to be a mentor to preparers, you would be responsible for being a salesperson. So you have a software that you're selling. You are the salesperson. So you have to find the audience. Who can you potentially sell to? Who are your prospects? So you capture the audience, you sell it to them, and then from there you would help them with onboarding, training on the software, their bank enrollment, setting up their fees and preparers. You provide that customer service to them throughout their onboarding process and getting set up on an annual basis. And then during the tax season, if they have questions, concerns, you would be the one responsible for supporting that tax office. So now that we've covered, what a service bureau is, how do you become a service bureau? The first step in that process is you would sign a contract. So at TaxSlayer, we have a contract that you would sign that goes over multiple things, but it gives you a license to be a reseller of TaxSlayer, what your cost structure is, so what we would charge you for software, charge for branding, and what your rebate structure is. So initially you sign the contract. The next step, we would provide you with white label software. So we would take the TaxSlayer name, contact information, and logo off of the software. And then the information you provide to TaxSlayer, so the logo, the customer support information for email and phone number, name of your company, we would help set all of that up for you in your custom branded software. If you would like, your account manager can discuss sales strategies with you. So a service bureau is not a cookie cutter, one size fits all product. It's become a very hot buzzword. A lot of people want to know what it is. They want to be a service bureau. It's not always very cut and dry though. Just like if you're a tax preparer, there's many people that you could do tax returns for, but they're not all the same. And then if you do taxes, and most service bureaus that start in the tax industry, they don't start out as a service bureau. Initially, they've been a tax preparer. They've been a business owner that has other tax preparers who work for them. So they understand the industry. So you would know there's many different type of people, different demographics, types of tax returns. Some more complex, some easier. Some people who like bank products. Some that may not need one. So there's various people that you could sell software to. So you can discuss those strategies with your account manager. And then finally, your onboarding training. So after you get your software, it's branded for you. What do you do next? TaxSlayer would walk you through how to onboard new customers that you sell software to, how to submit a bank enrollment, adding multiple locations, setting fees, not only in your back office and what we call Account Hub, but also in the software. And then from there, if you need training on how to do tax returns in the software, we can help you with that as well. Because in a product that you're selling, at the very least, you need to know how to have a conversation with somebody. Even if you're not necessarily going to be the one that supports the product, if you're going to sell the product, you at least need to have a pretty good understanding of its functionality. And if you were to brand your software inside of your back office Account Hub, where it says your company logo here, you would have a branded Account Hub. So you'd have your logo on the top left, the same area and same size and look of the software. Your logo would match within your Account Hub and your software. There are different color theme options. So if you have green in your logo, your branding has green in it. You may want your software to match that. So you could choose the green color theme, and you would have things, for example, like green buttons instead of blue. You have the option to change the theme of the software if you want that color to match your branding of your business. So finally, what are the benefits of being a service bureau? Well, there's multiple benefits of being a service bureau. So you can generate revenue through software sales. So you're charged a certain amount of money per location. You can mark that fee up and charge more than what TaxSlayer charges you. That's an opportunity for you to generate money for your business and make money off the software cost in and of itself. You can sell branded software. If you have an office or a multi-office person that wants to buy software from you, and they just may not want to be a service bureau, but they think it's cool to have their logo on it. That's good brand awareness for them and their preparers who work for them. You can offer that to them as well. You can have people be sub-service bureaus under you. You don't have to be a service bureau directly under TaxSlayer. Service bureaus can have sub-service bureaus. They can have resellers under them. And there's no real limit to how many layers that you can have for sub-service bureaus. The benefit of being a direct service bureau is you have a direct line of communication with TaxSlayer. You have an account manager that works in sales. You have service bureau support team that you would have access to. And we can help have direct facilitation of any assistance and questions that you might need or your customers may have that you may not be able to help them with or know what to do. We can coach you through that entire process. You can earn additional revenue through service bureau fees. So a lot of people who have questions about being a service bureau may not necessarily want to be a service bureau. They just want to charge a service bureau fee. You can do that without being a service bureau. But as a service bureau, that is a fee that you're charging to people you're selling software to. That's not necessarily for your tax office. So a lot of service bureaus make majority of the money that they generate comes from service bureau fees. Every time you sell to another tax office, there's back-end fees that you can add, and that's all done through bank products. So while you may want to sell software to any and everybody you can, you really want to concentrate on those who do bank products, because that's where additional fees can be added for the service bureau to make money. So a lot of times, service bureaus may try to break even on the software cost if they know the person they're selling to does decent to great bank product volume, because that service bureau fee is charged on every single bank product. And when that tax return funds, service bureau fee gets paid directly to the service bureau at the time of funding. You can also control additional transmission fees and rebates. So as the service bureau, you're the direct customer of TaxSlayer, not anybody you're selling software to, just the main service bureau that works with TaxSlayer. So if a rebate is due from TaxSlayer to the service bureau is paid 100% of that. It's not distributed to each sub-office or sub-service bureau. It's given directly to the top to the service bureau. The service bureau can also dictate what the transmission fees are. So if you want the transmission fees to be higher than what TaxSlayer typically charges, you can add on to our transmission fee. That's paid out at the same time as the rebate. So 100% of the additional transmission fee and the rebate gets paid to the service bureau. You have the opportunity to control rebates from our bank partners. So not only can you get a service bureau fee, you can do an additional service transmission fee. There's rebates from TaxSlayer and our bank partners. There's multiple back-end fees through bank products that can generate revenue for a service bureau. But the only way that that's beneficial is if you're actively selling to other EFIN owners. So it's very important to know that there's a difference between charging additional fees on a single office and those offices that you're selling software to. So there are some options that TaxSlayer offers. Maybe you're not sure that you're quite ready to be a service bureau. You want to learn a little bit more about it. You want to start small. We have an option where you can have branded software, maybe a few EFINs, still charge a service bureau fee, but you're not technically a service bureau. That's a lot less risky. You can just try to see if this is something that you can be successful in, a proof of concept. And then if you are successful, eventually you can sign a contract with TaxSlayer and become a service bureau. There are many people who've had a lot of success doing that. The other option could be if you're not a service bureau, but you know you can be successful because before you signed your contract, you've had multiple conversations with EFIN owners to sell software to. So you already have a book of business lined up. So it would make sense for you to sign that contract and go ahead and become a service bureau. And then for those who are already established service bureaus who maybe don't use TaxSlayer and they'd like to use the TaxSlayer software for their service bureau, that would be a very easy transition. Just sign a contract and move everything over. Because TaxSlayer is one of, if not the leading web-based software for service bureaus in the tax industry. If you have any questions about becoming a service bureau, please give TaxSlayer a call at 888-420-1040, or you can email us at sales@taxslayer.com. Again, I am Cody with TaxSlayer Pro. I'm a sales manager, and I also work with roughly 90% of our service bureaus. So if you have any questions or would like more information about being a service bureau with TaxSlayer, please reach out to us.